Today, we are honored and have the pleasure of having Seymone Moodley with us to connect with her and journey with Seymone as we celebrate her finding of Malteez Digital and her journey through that. So, Seymone, it is an honor to have you here this afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So, tell us a little bit about Seymone Moodley.
That's like a very tough question, but I think to simplify it, I'm a thinker, a doer, creative, a businesswoman, a daughter, and I've recently just come to think of myself like a human being on the planet Earth, where it just gives me like a greater feeling.
Okay.
Makes me feel like one, like a creature of the earth,
Okay. And is there a particular reason why you're starting to see yourself as a human being recently?
Yeah, because I think there's a lot of, like, we're always subdividing ourselves. We always have to be one thing. We a mother, we a businesswoman, we're an entrepreneur. We have to be one thing. But if you look at yourself outside of the planet, that belongs to all of us. We humans. So, like, as a race, we class ourselves. I'm Indian, I'm Black American, I'm African, I'm whatever. But you're actually a human being. Because if you take yourself out of that context of where you come from and you look at yourself as a human being, the planet is yours. So it's almost like I wanted to stop limiting my beliefs about where I could go and how far I could go. And to do that, I had to see myself in a different way.
That's very interesting.
So if I see myself as a human being, that means the planet is my world. But if I see myself as Indian, South African, I'm just in Johannesburg, you know what I mean? I'm limited now.
Okay, so it was to open up your mind
Absolutely.
and kind of just live the world and appreciate the planet.
Yeah, I want to broaden my thoughts,
Beautiful. So tell us a little about Malteez Digital. How did you come up with the concept, the idea behind Malteez Digital? And what do you do there? So
I started as a journalist, so just telling stories, creating content, producing shows. And so I was always interested in digital. So at the time when I was a journalist, we were fighting with citizen journalism. So Twitter came into the picture. People were breaking news on Twitter faster than we could even curate the stories and put them out there. So I was always interested in, like, the digital tech side of journalism. So then I got an opportunity to go work at a digital marketing agency. And I took it. Money was great. The opportunity was great. I was interested in digital at the time anyway. So people that I worked with at the time, they were not too keen. They were like, oh my God, you could do advertising? That's like where journalism goes to die. Why would you do that? It's a betrayal. I was like, yeah, I know, I'm sorry. Like, geez, let me just, I'll still be a journalist. Let me just, see what this new world brings.
Yes.
Also, like, for me, it just, personally for me, it almost feels like when you are a person that constantly wants to elevate, there's a cap to journalism.
Okay.
So you get in there, you start at the bottom, you do your internship at the very basic level. You'd be a junior producer, senior producer, executive producer. Same with, like, reporting. You'd be like a field reporter, senior field reporter, senior anchor. Okay, it's all these titles, but you're essentially doing the same thing.
Okay.
So there is a cap to what you can do. So I wanted to do something different. So I did digital marketing for a while, and then I was very much into the online space.
Okay.
So I worked with, like, these big corporate South African brands, and I built their online profiles. And then it hit me one day, two things. One, I can do this by myself, because I had seen a statement of work at one point, which is where, like, we break down all the different roles and responsibilities, how much we charge the client for those different hours.
Okay.
My hours, I saw how much I actually do, what I was getting, and I was like, I could get all of that.
Okay,
if
so
I
you
do
were
it by
aiming.
myself.
So the first concept was like, let me just move this into my own concept.
Exactly.
And see if I can make that my own income.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also, like, I had a lot of creative ideas, but because I was a social media content creator, I wasn't allowed to, in the organization, do different things. So if I would go and sit with the strategists, they'd be like, what are you doing here? Get over there, get to your lane, like, you stay in your lane kind of thing. So seeing the statement of work, feeling like I wanted to also just have my ideas produce some kind of physical material, something tangible that I could see, I was like, no, I feel like I could do this. Also, I really missed being a journalist.
Okay.
Because it was like going to work as a journal every day and having these stories come to you, or these topics or ideas come to you, and then you chase that and you build a story and you tell a story, and then it makes some kind of a difference.
And this was just limiting all that innovative, creative mindset into just this one role that you had to take care of.
Exactly.
Okay.
So all of that combined, I was like, I think I can do this by myself. And then I made the ridiculous decision to try.
And here we are.
And here we are.
So that's fascinating, Seymone. So what were the 3 things that you say were the most challenging things to start up Malteez Digital for you?
You know, like everybody else, I wanna say money, you know, getting clients, generating revenue. I think it's every entrepreneur, every business owner's challenge. For me, I think in the very beginning it was knowledge. So in the system that we all grew up in, that we all taught to get into, you don't get taught how to do business. You don't get taught how to be an entrepreneur. You don't know that the CIPC exists. You don't even know what that means. You don't know how to get access. You don't know anything. You don't know how to do nothing. So for me, it was like almost like reality hitting you in the face when you realize that the system was training you to never ever do this, because they don't want you to go out there and create your own lane and create your own path and create your own business. They want you to stay where you are and keep making more money for them.
Absolutely.
So I had no idea what I was doing, and that was a big challenge for me. I was very good at creating the content.
You were
and the
good
work.
being a worker with
I was
instruction.
very good being a worker.
Guidelines and a process.
Exactly. I didn't have the guidelines, the process. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. So I would have to go and like find and I always call it like the secret world of like entrepreneurship within like Johannesburg, South Africa. Yeah, so I had like, you know, found these spaces where like these incubators, and I would go in and I'd apply for programs, and I'd sit in a 6 weeks program and learn about what does it mean to do business, how do you start, how do you go about things, you know, like, and I would always be the one in the room asking all the ridiculous questions like, I'm sorry, like register, what do you mean register? Business, how, where, what? Because that is at the basic level I did not understand. And it's not that we're stupid.
So it was a whole entire new world.
There was a whole new world, exactly. And I don't come from an
and this must have been
background.
a challenge from you thinking, well, this is the revenue that I'm getting paid for the scope of work that I'm going to be doing, going into a business and realizing that it's a lot more
100%
than just getting the deal done so you could do this passion or, you know, execute the passion that you had.
Yeah.
There was a whole world of how do you get that set up.
Yeah,
so setup was your biggest challenge.
I was making all the mistakes. So I was scoping like a worker, not like a businesswoman. Scoping for just hours, not for everything else that it takes to run a business.
Wow.
So I was doing everything wrong because I had no idea what I was supposed to do. Because you like I said, you just don't get taught how to do these things. So that was a massive challenge. It also would be getting access, getting market access. So you could be so good at something, but if you don't actually get an opportunity to practice that, then you have like a hobby. You don't actually have a business.
Right.
You don't have somebody willing to pay you for that.
So actually knowing who your target audience was, how you actually keep a sales funnel going.
Exactly.
And a pipeline,
all of that.
All the wonderful things.
All those wonderful
to generate that business and money coming in. And so if you had to, the journey that you've traveled today, change some of the elements that you currently face as a challenge, what would those things be? What would the top 2-3 things that you would want to change about your business today?
I think one of the things I'd love to change is just the way we see ourselves and the way we think and the language that we use and the way that we approach people, clients, partners. Because in the very, like, we were very, and I don't, like, it sounds braggy when you put it in there. We were very humble in the beginning. So we wouldn't go and approach like you know, because we didn't think like you'd talk to us or you'd want to do business with us or whatever. But now we're at that place where we understand our value, we know what we can add. So just be a little bit more bold and unapologetic about going forward. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? They could say no, and then, you know, we'd find someone else that says yes.
Okay, so broadening your reach for client.
Absolutely, taking more chances, being a little bit more brave, being open to making more mistakes.
Okay, and so if I take that and align it, how do you currently measure success with Malteez Digital?
So, from a business perspective, it's money, it's revenue, it's profits.
Okay.
But from everything else, it's impact.
Okay.
So
impact on your client or
impact on in every kind of way. So the impact that we have from running workshops, the feedback that we get, from clients, if the feedback that we get from a community, if that's what we're doing at that time with a specific project. So I think how we would measure success internally would be impact. How much impact are we making? So once we identify what the purpose is, the main vision, the bigger picture, how much impact are we making in accordance to that? So if our impact is to, change the world, every time we do something, how much impact are we making in achieving that goal?
Right. Okay. So if we look at all of that, Seymone, and you had people that were aspiring to start something as wonderful as Malteez Digital, what would your advice be? What would you summarize your advice to someone kind of saying, I just saw what it is that I could potentially earn because this is what's being built out for me, and I think I could do what you're doing or similar? What would you say to that individual?
I mean, I'm going to sound like one of these cheesy quotes that we see like every day on Instagram, but it's like, just do it. Just do it. The quicker you get out there with an idea and do it, the faster you'll make mistakes, the faster you'll fix those mistakes, the quicker you'll just move forward. So like for myself personally, I waited a long time. Things must be perfect. It's never going to be perfect. So I'm of the opinion that the only thing that separates you from somebody else who is become more successful than you is that they hit the market first.
Okay. So you would say, even with the challenges that you faced coming out and setting up Malteez Digital, you think if you had started earlier, it didn't matter that you had to come out and learn all these things, that the longer you stayed, you still wouldn't have been privy to what it is that you'd have experienced in your journey. So it's get out and find those things and fail fast. Is that what you're saying?
Definitely. And not to sound like, one of those Silicon Valley entrepreneurs, fail fast, but it's like, I always, like, when I meet like kids, not even kids, but like young students that are finishing matric and starting a business, I'm like, I wish I did that.
Okay.
I really wish I did that, because I'm of the belief that I would be so much further along now had I started super early, made those mistakes, learned from it, because there's just certain things, and I mean, this, like when you start a business, there's certain things you can't learn. You only learn by doing.
Through experience.
Through doing. And the quicker we do that, the better. And then just don't doubt yourself. Like I was reading this study one time as like the chances of you being born at the time that you were born, to the parents that you were born to, at the place you were born, it's like one in an infinite number. So you were like a miracle. We're all a miracle.
Right.
So I think like when you understand the reality, like you're never going to get a chance to do this thing called life again.
So you get one chance.
You get one chance. So figure out what you want to do and do it quickly.
Wow, fantastic. So if people are looking for you, Seymone, and Malteez Digital, where do they find you?
So online. So our website is malteez.digital. So it's MALTEEZ. And we have all our contact details, social media profiles, and all the links at the website.
Fantastic. And is there, besides, do you have a space that they can come to you and kind of scope their strategy with you if they wanted to do their social media as well?
They absolutely can. So, because we're not like a brick and mortar kind of business, but we do have office space. So you would go to them? We have an office space in Bryanston. People are more than welcome to come over, have a chat with us. They just need to give us a heads up and let us know, and then we'd happy to sit and like brainstorm some ideas.
Fantastic. Seymone, we really appreciate you joining us at the Kartel Media today. Thank you so much for sharing your journey, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.